What's up, sis? You called me?
Hey, bro, what's going on?
I don't know. I'm chilling. I'm getting ready to go for a run real quick. It's a little cold this morning, so I had to grab a jacket.
A run? What do you mean?
It's I like to get out and run before
Like that?
the
With a
day's gonna
hoodie?
start. Yeah, it's
A
kind of
black
cold.
hoodie?
Yeah, black's my favorite color.
Do you not see
Proud
what's going
Boston.
on?
No.
All
Oh,
these
my
cases of
my
African
mask.
Americans,
Right, I forgot my mask. You're right. I'm sorry.
they're
Yeah, I'm
mad.
about to be good.
Besides the fact, do you see what's going on out there? African American men are getting hurt just from skipping, hopping, running down the street, through the city in the dark. And just
Oh,
because you're light skinned doesn't mean you're 100% privileged. You're this, you're not this.
did I miss something? I don't know. I haven't watched the news this past weekend. You know how I feel
Okay,
about the news.
all right. I guess I have to get my hashtags ready. Hashtag justice for Anthony. Hashtag pray for Anthony's family. Hashtag RIP Anthony. Or you want to be a moral painter, you want to be on Wynwood's walls. Hashtag rest in peace Anthony. Hashtag NAACP. Another one.
For running? I'm confused. It's
Yeah,
like
for
what happened?
It's not just running. You're black.
Hi, my name is Anthony Grant, and I play Daniel on the Situation Lounge. Check out what our guest expert had to say about how to best handle this situation.
Yeah, so I was I lived in a predominantly white neighborhood in Staten Island for a little while, and I would jog around the community for get my cardio, get my workout on. And as I was jogging, two white men in a pickup truck, young white men, shouted the N-word at me and spat in my direction. And this didn't happen 50 years ago. I'm but 40 years old. This happened like 5 years ago. So, and this is in Staten Island, in the north, in New York City, one of the 5 boroughs. Yeah. So I think that what we have to be, cognizant of is that people still think that way. Mm-hmm. And we have to be careful. And it's sad that we are the only race, we are the only demographic that have to be conscious about what we wear. That's true. When we go outside. And why is that? Why is it that our cultural garb is deemed as a threat to others outside? So Ebony, you had an emotional outbreak because you have an emotional attachment to your brother. So it's one of those things where you want to be able to protect, and the only way you can protect is to show them how you're feeling at the specific moment, where your brother's like, I'm just going jogging. And he may not understand. And in his mind, he's like, well, I don't think that no one has the right to tell me I can't jog in what I want to wear. And he's right. And he's absolutely right.
Welcome back to the Situation Lounge, where improv and coaching connect what the experts said regarding the situation. Please share with us in the comment section below.
So in terms of my character, I feel like, so for the character, it's, you do have that demographic, especially with the African American community, where it's like you hear so much of these new news reports, right, and hashtags and these things that are happening, and these senseless killings of Black men in particular. So for my character, I kind of took it from the point of like being almost like blissfully unaware, right, where it's like I'm just gonna kind of tune out the news. I'm gonna tune out, I should and shouldn't, or feel like I shouldn't do this. Do you feel like that is a wise way for someone to approach just their everyday lives when almost any and everything seems to be a cause to be murdered? Is it better to just kind of like check out completely?
No, and the only reason why is because the reason why we're still in this situation today is because there are still a lot of white people who take that same approach. It doesn't really affect me, so it has nothing to do with me, so I'm just going to pretend like it doesn't faze me. Communities band together communities should band together when things like this happen. Not at no point in life should we walk around ignorant about what's happening in our communities. That's like me walking into the roughest neighborhood in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, wearing a diamond crusted pendant with brand new J's, and like I can't be ignorant to know that there's a possibility that if I go out there looking flashy and nobody knows me, I'm putting myself in danger. So walking around pretending like everything is all good isn't the safest place to be in. We have to be wise, and cunning, when it comes to certain things like that.
What's been going on with you, man?
I've been all right, man. Just been in the house lately, honestly.
You've been, I don't know, you seem a little different lately, man. Everything all right?
Not really. I had a conversation with my sister not even 2 days ago. I guess I was just not really aware of what had been going on, checking the news, another brother being senselessly murdered, just going out for a run like I usually do. And
Yeah.
I'm at a loss for words. I'm like, you can't run, you can't call for help, you can't sleep in your own house. It's like, it almost feels like I'm asking to get shot if I step outside my door. So I haven't felt motivated to go outside and do anything.
I feel you now, but you can't live in the fear, because then the opposite effect of that is you're going to go out and probably do something reactive to that.
I mean, maybe that needs to be the case. Like, how many more times are we going to protest? How many more times do we have to call in to the police department for them to do their job? How many more times we got to do this? Like, how many more times, God forbid, that I have to protest because you got shot unnecessarily, or I got shot unnecessarily, or one of our loved ones? Like, maybe we do need to react.
I'm not saying that we shouldn't do anything, but I want you to really stop and think about the alternative.
Well, maybe I'd rather be the angry Black person that's alive.
Yeah, I think that it's very evident that he's coming from a very reactive place where, I always said this, that reaction is never a good thing.
Do you agree or disagree with how I handle this situation? Watch what happens next.
So reaction or being reactive is never going to be a way to get to a healthy outcome. And that's why the idea of emotional intelligence and being an intelligent leader or person is simply saying, what emotion am I having? Why is that emotion there? Because emotion is not a bad thing. Emotion is only there to inform us of something. That's what it does. It informs us of something. And it's our job, if we are in tune and are aware, is to find out what is it informing me of, and then be able to take appropriate action to get a better result. Because as Anthony was saying, and Jamal was rightly saying, that reactiveness will not get him what he really wants. It may grant him or give him an immediate gratification, but how does that change things long term? So it all depends on what your outcome is. So yeah, I think that the reactiveness is never, never, never a good thing.
I would continue to tell Jamal that to hold his stance, but also at the same time let Anthony know that his feelings are valid and warranted. And if he's looking for a specific outcome, try to get him to think about what will it take to get to that specific outcome. But in his immediate reaction or response, thank you, Kingsley, for that, he's not really thinking straight. So I think at the same time, Jamal could probably say, let me just pause on this conversation for a little bit, and then let whatever emotion he has, let him vent it out completely, and then let's go back to it and discuss it and see if maybe then he can come up with better ways to respond to how he's feeling, and maybe come up with real steps that could probably fix it.
Hey, Ricky, I wanted to give you a call back. I know that you told me you needed some space, that you were a little bit teed off earlier, but I'm just calling back to see how you're doing.
Yo, this is like crazy that you didn't get the point the first time, Celeste. Like, seriously, you're calling me back?
Okay, let me say that in the history of our friendship, you have never ever blown me off in that way. Like, like we've been to parties together, we've hung out. I've never ever heard you talk like this. There's something else going on, and I would love for you to tell me what it is.
Alright, yo. To be honest with you, yo, it's not easy. I definitely don't feel comfortable. I don't know how to explain it to you how it feels to be a Black man and feeling insecure in almost every space that you go in. You don't feel safe. You don't feel welcome. You always got this thought in the back of your head, like, you know what I'm saying? Am I good? Are people watching me? Like, you know what I'm saying? You ever felt that way about anything?
I have felt insecure before, like in high corporate positions, that people have underestimated me, things like that. But to be honest, no. What you're talking about, I don't have any experience with that. I don't know what it's like to walk around being a man with Black skin, being insecure for my life. I do not know how to relate to that.
Yeah,
That's what's going on.
It's stressful. There's no peace of mind. You feel like you're paranoid. You always looking over your shoulder. Feel like you're walking on eggshells. I just really don't feel safe most of the time,
Man,
hard to explain. It really
I
is
had
hard.
no idea. Like, this is the first time you've ever opened up like this to me. I'm really, like, I feel for you. I'm really hurt for all the Black men, but specifically you. You're so fun-loving. You're intelligent. You're like a go-getter. You're the life of the party. You have always this positive glow. I had never heard you sound like this before.
I appreciate that, but unfortunately, the whole world doesn't see it that way.
I understand. I understand what it means to wake up every morning and know you're a target in America. I understand what it means to walk down the sidewalk and to have somebody clutch their purse by you. I understand what it means to go into the workplace and be asked to tie your hair up to make it comfortable for those around you. I understand what it means to be driving down the street with legit papers and license and hear them sirens and your heart still skip a beat. I understand. We are hurting. We are emotionally scarred. And denying it don't make it go away. And you can't conquer what you won't confront. No general goes into war off his emotions. And my brother, every day you get up, you going to war. So in order to beat this war, you first have to beat those emotions. You have to conquer those emotions. I need you. Our queens need you. Our children need you. I love you, my brother.
I was just praying, bro. And in prayer, dog, I'm just like, God, why do people hate us so much, dog? Like, why, bro? I don't even know what to do. I couldn't even fit. I couldn't even finish my prayer, dog.
Thank you for being a part of this show. I know it took a lot for you to use this avenue just to convey how you feel. And I wanted to really dig deep into, why you chose to post that video on your social media. So I would like to know what was your headspace at the time?
It was, I really wish I was like joking, but it was hard to even watch that video play back even just now. I'm not used to seeing myself cry. I cried. I cried kind of often. I don't say often. I'm very in tune with my emotions, so if I need to cry, I cry. But I'm not used to like watching myself cry. I don't know anybody who does. It's kind of funny. But I was really like in prayer, and I just literally hit a roadblock, and that is extremely weird for me because I'm not always praying, but I constantly pray. throughout the day, at night as well. And so it literally, I just couldn't get what happened off my mind enough to where I literally was asking God these same questions, like, you know, why do people treat us like this here? You know, why do they hate us so much? And
Right.
so yeah, it was a true moment of just honest transparency. I ended up praying after I posted or finished recording the video, rather, and I was able to pray. But I really think I just needed to get it off my chest, and I didn't want to talk to anybody. It's just something I needed to get out. So yeah.
Right. Like I've always known you to be a very transparent person. That's what I love about you. But you know, with that video, I've never seen you be that vulnerable to the public on so I'm like, man, he must really feel this way. And it just brought me to tears. It was very emotional for me as well. But thank you again for allowing us to share that with the viewers who are watching right now.
Have you ever encountered a similar situation? Watch what happens next.
And I also wanted to know, like, in your own perspective, like, do you think that is essential to have, you know, a group of people like to vent to? Do you think it's important to have that circle of people who you trust for that emotional support for Black and brown men like yourself?
Well, honestly, I don't think any of us were designed to bottle things in or suppress our emotions, our feelings. I think our emotions and feelings were actually by design supposed to be informants. They're supposed to be an indicator to us about how we feel about anything related to the outside world and how it's affecting us. A lot of times we allow them to not be indicators, but rather dictators. And that's where they become a problem, because we allow our emotions to then tell us what to do. If I'm mad, I need to break something, or like, rage, rather than, okay, why am I feeling this way? What's making me feel this way? What can I do to resolve this? And how can I go about handling in a healthy way? But I do think it's essential, not just for Black and brown people, but for everybody really, to know who's in your corner emotionally, and to be able to vent or to ask for advice or solicit help. I think we were designed to be social beings. And so for me, particularly in that moment, I know I have a good amount of people that I can talk to emotionally, and who's there for me. But and I had people, you know, checking on me after I posted it. And even then, I wasn't answering phone calls. I was texting people, letting them know I was fine. But it was just one of the moments where I really think I just needed to vent. And sometimes you need to do that as well. Sometimes you need to talk to friends. Sometimes you need to pray. Sometimes you just need to say what's in your heart, even out loud, you know, by yourself, so you don't sound crazy. But, you know, you just got to get it out. Otherwise, it festers, it builds, and it creates rage, hate. I mean, the list goes on.
Baltimore, but I'm in Florida, and we didn't even close that deal. Oh, and the How to Make 10K in 2 Weeks guide, they give me the contracts to make money even if I didn't close the deal. How can I lose?
I would encourage anybody, especially Black and brown people, men, women, especially men, I think we're groomed to be ones who do bottle stuff in, who don't talk about emotions, who don't have emotions, who don't fear, who don't, and none of that, first of all, is true. We all fear something, I think, and we're all challenged by things. And so it's okay to express weakness. It's okay to express our flaws. We have them, you know. Let's not, you know, act like we're Superman. We're not.
All right, well, stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. We have a special video coming up.
I love my Black man, my Black father, my Black brothers, but most of all, my Black man. You are loved, you are appreciated, and you are cherished. You are strong, you are wise, and you're courageous. And while they're trying to figure out if they want to embrace you, I cringe at the thought that I'd ever have to replace you. So while all lives matter, yeah, that's true. But because you're Black while living, and Black while driving, and Black while jogging, Black lives matter too. We respect you. We love you. We appreciate you. I love my Black man.
Into the Situation Lounge, where improv and coaching connect. I want to thank those of you who are tuned in. Make sure to hit that red subscribe button and share with your friends. Let them know you're watching the Situation Lounge. I want to invite our experts back to the table before we welcome our team, Andre Harrison and Kingsley Grant.
How's it going?
Hey, all right. Well, in wrapping it up, I wanted to just hear from you, your closing remarks as it relates to what took place. Andre, what are your thoughts on the show today, and what would you, as far as your one piece of advice for those who are tuned in?
I'll give two pieces of advice, if you don't mind. One to my brown and Black brothers and sisters, not to lose heart or become dismayed through this whole thing. I know it's a repetitive narrative that we keep hearing, and frankly, we're all sick of it. And I just want to encourage, don't be sick of it, but make sure that we move in a way that's actually going to produce results without making us look like we're mobbing for something. Because the truth of the matter is, when we gather together for anything, even if it's a protest, it's not looked at as a good thing. And I read a quote today that, and this may not necessarily be the views of those hosting this. Okay, let me just say that now. But it said that racism is something to the fact that racism is as American. Racism is America because those who protest against racism are considered un-American. So it was a pretty deep quote. I don't know if I'm saying it verbatim, but it's a pretty deep quote. And for those who are American and who happen to be white, we're not looking for white empathizers only. We're looking for people who love us, who know us intimately as friends, as family, to speak up against this also, and not say, well, I'm not racist, so I don't like being pulled into and generalized like all other white people. If you are complacent, if you are silent, if you are not going to speak up and say that this action is wrong, whether it happened to Aubrey or anybody else, then you are part of that racist narrative also. If you're not standing up for what's right, is you saying that silently, I'm okay with what's happening to people that don't look like me. So for this to truly change, everybody neither and point out what's wrong and do something about it.
Thank you for that, Andre. And for those who are watching, we're going to post a link to Andre's book called From a Fatherless Father to His Sons. I read that book as well, and it's a beautiful book, a beautiful story. So we'll make sure to include it in the link below and your contact information, Andre. Kingsley Grant, any closing remarks before, as far as, or one piece of advice you'd like to share?
Yeah, I think overall everything was very, the show was very enlightening and brought about some conversation that is much needed. And we need to have this kind of discourse continuously, because I believe the more we talk with each other and to each other, rather than at the other person, the more we can accomplish. And I think the care must be taken when we're having this conversation is not to somehow, think every white person is racist or every black person is racist. We have racism on both sides. And I think we got to be careful that we just don't point our fingers in one direction. And if we can have that kind of conversation and the understanding, because I have white brothers and sisters who I know are not racist. And so we got to be careful about that. And so I think we can get to a better understanding and try to go at their roots cause. And it's through education, it's through having people see things that they may not see otherwise. Because if all you know, that if everything you have in your hand is a nail and a hammer, and everything you're going to do is with a nail and a hammer. So sometimes people don't have the right set of tools, like emotional intelligence or being emotelligent, which is really a set of skills that says, hey, how can I have a better result? We might need to teach that across the board to help people manage their thoughts and their emotions so they can get better results. We've got to ask ourselves the question, if that's our goal, to get better results, how is what we're doing getting us there?